next 45 minutes, I'm going to talk essentially about Chile as a whole, just a reminder. I'm going to get some stats, if you like the stats, production, hectares, blah, blah, blah. And then we're going to go into the south properly, and particularly into one area that I think is probably the most relevant area when you think about the south, which is the Itata Valley. The south, finally we arrived to the south. So we have basically three main areas. The area that I wanted to talk to you a lot about it today is Itata. Okay? Itata Valley is located 400 kilometers south of Santiago. Okay? So out of the three southern regions, this is the one that is the northernmost sector, and actually is probably the oldest reference in the south is Itata. Okay? Some of the earliest vineyards were planted near to the port city of Concepcion during colonial times. Concepcion is a big city and they're very proud of that. They're doing lots of restaurants now in that area in reaction to the development of the local wine industry, because they don't want to depend more from the center. So they're doing lots of restaurants, and they're trying to actually force the government to open a faculty of enology there, not in the center, And for Chile, which is so centralized, that's a big thing, okay? Today the region features a blend of old and new varieties, a different type of vineyards with different exposures. You have lots of ancient bush wines, and you have lots and lots of potential to explore. Soils are alluvial soils, clay and sand. Okay, so you will have a combination of soils. The total planted is 7,000 hectares, and look at the rain. What do you think about that? 1,000 millimeters. Here we have 300 millimeters more. Okay, so lots and lots of rain, so you have 21% risk of frost. And obviously, you have here something very interesting. Look, half and half the hectares. You have 4,000 red and 3,600 for white. The main varieties in this area are Muscat, the good one for white wines or sweet wines, País, the very old grape, yeah? Then look, you have Cinsault, and then Cabernet Sauvignon, Chardonnay, Merlot, and Chasselas and Carmenère. I would say the most interesting wines will come from this area, will be made with País and Cinsault, and Muscat for white. For the new wall, it's very difficult to manage the alcohol content, yeah? To manage the sugar into the wine. So when they go to the south, they can actually feel a little bit more comfy, to say like, look, temperature is much lower, okay? Ripeness still there, but I don't have so much sugar. So my wines will be less alcoholic, yeah? And I'm gonna have more acidity. That's the key of the south. More refreshing wines with ripeness and interesting profiles, okay? This friend of mine is Leonardo Erazo. So this gentleman is young, creative, taking lots of risk, not making a lot of money, but he's just doing it, and he's getting so much attention in Chile, and the wines are making such an impact. Why? Because first thing, he's supporting local growers. So he plants his own, obviously, grapes, but he buys lots of grapes from local people, and actually he doesn't tell them anything. He just said like, look, can I get the grapes? That's it. I'll pay you the money. Just make consistent grapes every year. I'm not going to tell you what to do. So the majority of those growers, they never ever thought about fertilization, sulfite, nothing. Natural things. So we're talking about a guy who's doing wine, in a different level. Of course, he has bigger lines, but this line only for this year is 2,000. The soil is plucked with hoses, and the vines are not irrigated. So very, very, very traditional. So the wines from Leo, they're organic. Okay? So this particular one, the big old man and brave old man, is 100% Malbec. Yeah? A grape variety that probably you will, associate more with Argentina. but I think we are the second biggest producer of Malbec after them. So the vineyards are situated 100 meters above the sea level, and the soil is granite. When we look at it in the area, it's very popular. The vines were planted in 1920. Yeah, so it's going to be almost 100 years. Organic viticulture, bush-trained vines, freedom, sort of thing. Let, here is really let the land to express. The wine is aged for 24 months with no oak treatment. Beautiful color, very attractive color, ruby color. When you go to the nose, I think it's a very, very expressive Malbec with a lot of savoriness in the nose. It's like talking to you not from the ultra-ripe, chocolatey style, sweetie. No. This is a completely different nose. Like hits you, like the savoriness, the dark fruit, the licorice, the sort of flowers combined with pepper, and like it's salty, you want to eat something straight away. I think this is definitely not a boring wine, no? So this is the brave old man coming to the room, Labels also are very creative, so they're quite nice. So he used this sort of labels all the way. We're talking about young wines still, like 14, 15, so they're young wines. I think the nose is completely different. What do you think? I love the fact that we don't smell oak. I like that. It's friendly, it's like easy, you don't need to worry, there is no oak here. You don't need to worry about the oak.